What is the most important skill in basketball? No, it's not the Jalen Brunson fake handoff. It's not the Kevin Durant Hezzo pull-up jumper. Heck, it's not even the weird little thing LeBron does where he looks down at the basketball like he's never seen one in his life before he takes the sidestep three-pointer and drains it. I know, right? So, what is the most important skill in basketball? Well, it's making shots. Thanks for watching. Yeah, really good episode, everybody. It was real quick and to the point. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good weekend, guys. In basketball, there's always a couple things to keep in mind. First thing is, there's a million moves that you can make at any given time. Crossovers, double crossovers, jab steps, shot fakes, Euro steps, etc. And the second thing is, if you can't shoot, none of them matter. None of it works. I see this mistake made far too often with players spending an exorbitant amount of time practicing crossovers or dribble moves, when in reality, it's a huge waste of time and not an effective way to actually improve your game. Yeah, dribbling the ball and doing cool tricks might make you the coolest kid at recess in 4th grade, but it will not propel you to a long basketball career. First off, let's think like a pro here for a second. On every team worldwide, there's pretty much one guy with the ultimate green light and freedom to break off of plays and really go ISO ball or one-on-one. This person would be considered the primary playmaker for the team. Their job is to draw the defensive attention from the other team and to either score or create mismatches and closeouts for their teammates. If that's your role on the team, then you can continue working on your Euro, Sham God, fadeaway step throughs. But for literally everyone else, you need to learn how to make open three-pointers, attack closeouts, and finish contested layups. Why is it that we waste so much time practicing to be that one go-to guy on the team when there's almost a guaranteed chance that you will not be that guy? Heck, most of the guys teaching these skills, they've never been that guy. Even in the NBA, less than 10% of the players have a really high usage rate and are allowed to just break out of plays and go one-on-one ISO for a majority of the game. However, almost every single workout online is teaching you how to be that guy. If you're wanting to have a successful career in basketball, it's almost never going to be because a coach saw you do some double behind the back Kyrie crossover and finish a filthy layup over 3 defenders. What coaches are typically looking for are guys that can get 2 feet in the key consistently and can knock down open shots and finish contested layups. This is the type of player that will be successful at any level and in any system. Sadly, this type of play doesn't get promoted very often and it's not exciting to sell. However, this is the way basketball is played. Now, to clarify, a typical breakdown of a 12-man roster generally includes the playmaker, so the best player, the best defender, the best rebounder, and the best shooter. After those 4 positions, 8 more spots are practically up for grab for players that can consistently hit open threes, attack closeouts, and finish contact layups. That doesn't mean if you're one of those 4 guys that you don't need these 3 skills that we're talking about. In fact, it can elevate you at the next level and make sure you continue to be successful. With that in mind, why does everyone constantly try to just play for that one spot, be that one guy, when there are 11 other spots up for grabs and can almost guarantee that you're going to have a successful career in basketball? First, secure yourself as a solid player and a heavy rotation guy, and then you can go for that number 1 spot. First things first. So what do these 3 skills look like and how do you develop them? Basketball is constantly evolving, and in today's game, if you're not the biggest, strongest, fastest, or the best player, you need to be able to knock down open threes. This is where you have to start if you're wanting to develop into a player that can have a long career in the game of basketball. If you can shoot the ball effectively, defenders will be forced to guard you closer and to be on their toes. This will allow your moves and fakes to be far more effective. It also spaces the floor for your teammates and makes it incredibly difficult to guard any on-ball or off-ball screening action. This means you need to spend more time on actual shot-making ability rather than how you will create those shots in a one-on-one situation. I generally tell players that if you can't shoot 70% wide open in practice from a spot, then you shouldn't be shooting from that spot in a game. Therefore, practice until you can consistently shoot 70% from any given spot on the floor before you consider searching that shot out in a live game scenario. Obviously, with game speed and moving, those shots become far more difficult, but shooting 70% wide open gives you that foundation and that base that will help develop confidence by yourself and your teammates and your coach in your shot making ability. For all my coaches out there, the percentage is highly dependent on the level that you're coaching. So if this is a lower level or mainly based on development, I would be rewarding players on taking the right shot rather than berating them if the shot doesn't go in. I also did a video last week on shooting mechanics, which you can check out right here. Which leads into our next skill. If you're able to knock down shots consistently or even shoot with confidence, defenders will begin to overcompensate or sprint out harder on their closeouts. I kid you not, later on in my career, I got to a point where pretty much first play of every game, I would dribble the ball up and I would just shoot a three-pointer and hold my follow through, make or miss. The reason I did this wasn't necessarily to just make the shot. Yes, I obviously wanted to make it, but what this would do would set the tone for how the defender would have to guard me for the remainder of the game. Then every time I dribbled the ball up the court, the defense would always have to be thinking about if I'm going to shoot that shot or not. This would allow me to be more effective getting to the basket. This is what I mean by shooting with confidence. This could be the same as receiving a drive and kick. If you shoot that shot with confidence and shoot 70% wide open in practice, then you should already have it in your head that as soon as you catch that ball, you're shooting it and you're holding your follow through. This is going to put into the defender's head that the fact that you're willing to shoot that shot and they've got to close out much harder. That's when you can begin attacking their closeouts. When you attack their closeout, you do need to be very efficient at getting to the basket with 1 or 2 dribbles. Being able to take advantage of a closeout, usually generated by your best player or good offensive movement like a pick and roll, dribble handoffs, etc. This will give you the upper hand against the defense and make sure that you're always playing highly efficient basketball, which leads into our final skill to master. Once you can make the defense guard you and you've mastered the footwork at getting to the basket with 1 to 2 dribbles, all that's left to do now is finish. When you're attacking off of a closeout, if you can get to the basket in 1 to 2 dribbles, you're generally going to have to get there with late help rotation, meaning you're going to have to learn how to finish off of different footwork with different hands, maybe finishing with contact. But this will help develop you into a very consistent scorer. Then once you've blown by the defender 2 or 3 times, they're going to begin sagging off on their closeouts, which again opens up your three-pointer, kind of like a game of chess. The good thing about working on different finishes is that you can apply it to fast breaks, cutting to the basket, and post play in general. In many of the clips I showed, the reason I was able to get to the basket was because the defender knew they had to play me close enough or contest my shot, otherwise I would shoot at a decent percentage. Then I was able to get to the basket in 1 to 2 dribbles and either finish the layup myself or kick it out to a teammate, giving them a closeout. When you're developing a set of skills to work on, this is the way you need to break it down and think about what you should be spending your time on. The interesting thing is, kids would always come up to me after games and they would remember the one crazy step back 3 that I hit or some crazy layup that went in around 3 people, but oddly enough, that's only where like 3 to 5 of my points per game would come from. The majority of my points always came from catch and shoot, catch and drive, or getting to the basket and finishing one-on-one layups. This is efficient basketball, and this is the way you should develop your game. Stop adding new crossovers to your bag every day. Just make shots and drive hard to the basket. Hopefully this video shows you what skills you need to be prioritizing and how you should begin approaching your workouts going forward. I'll be doing more videos obviously over the next coming weeks, going into greater detail of what those workouts can look like. But for now, you should be on the right track for knowing what to focus on for now. As always, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask, you can do that down below. Otherwise, take care.